Our home had always been a sanctuary for me, a space where my love for beauty and harmony could flourish. Every detail, from the colors on the walls to the arrangement of furniture, was carefully curated to create an environment that reflected my deep appreciation for aesthetics. I believed that beauty was not just a luxury but a necessity, a way to bring order, peace, and joy into everyday life. It was through this lens that I approached everything, especially my relationship with Leslie. Yet, as much as I valued harmony, I began to notice a subtle tension growing between us. It started with small things, differences in taste, preferences for how our home should look, what should be prioritized, and how we should express ourselves within the space we shared. For me, these were not just trivial matters. They were reflections of our values and the life we were building together. I often found myself spending hours arranging and rearranging our home, striving for that perfect balance between form and function, elegance and comfort. The living room, with its soft, muted tones, was my favorite place to express my aesthetic sensibilities. The carefully chosen art on the walls, the plush cushions on the couch, the delicate vase of fresh flowers on the coffee table. All of these elements combined to create a space that felt both beautiful and serene. But as I immersed myself in this pursuit of beauty, I began to sense Leslie's growing frustration. He appreciated my efforts, I knew, but his preferences leaned towards simplicity and practicality, a stark contrast to my more elaborate vision. Where I saw an opportunity to enhance our surroundings, he saw unnecessary complexity. The tension between us, once so easily managed, began to manifest in subtle disagreements, each one leaving a small crack in the foundation of our relationship. One evening, after a particularly long day, I found myself alone in the living room, the weight of our unspoken conflict hanging heavy in the air. The soft light from the lamps cast a warm glow over the room, highlighting the beauty of the space I had so carefully crafted. Yet instead of bringing me the usual sense of peace, it only intensified the unease I felt. I couldn't help but wonder if my pursuit of aesthetic perfection had come at a cost. I had always believed that a beautiful environment could bring people closer, that it could foster harmony and connection. But now I was beginning to see that beauty alone was not enough. It needed to be balanced with understanding, with a respect for the differences that made our relationship unique. As I sat there, the quiet of the apartment amplified my thoughts. I realized that our conflicts were not just about decor or design. They were about something deeper. They were about the way we viewed the world, the way we expressed ourselves, and the way we sought to create meaning in our lives. My aesthetic sensibilities were an integral part of who I was, but so were Leslie's preferences for simplicity and function. The challenge was finding a way to reconcile these differences without losing sight of what mattered most. The apartment, with its carefully curated beauty, suddenly felt like a reflection of the conflict within me. The art on the walls, the soft textures of the furnishings, the delicate arrangements of flowers, everything that I had once taken such pride in now seemed to symbolize the divide between us. I began to see that in my pursuit of aesthetic perfection, I had overlooked the importance of balance, of creating a space that reflected not just my values, but Leslie's as well. I thought about the small disagreements that had begun to accumulate, like pebbles building up on a path until they became obstacles. Each one seemed insignificant on its own, but together they were creating a barrier that neither of us knew how to cross. The aesthetic differences were just the surface. Beneath them lay deeper issues of communication, compromise, and understanding. The realization hit me hard, and I felt a wave of sadness wash over me. I had always prided myself on my ability to create harmony, to bring balance into every aspect of my life. But now, I was faced with the uncomfortable truth that I had allowed my pursuit of beauty to overshadow the very thing I valued most, our relationship. The space I had so carefully crafted had become a battleground, rather than a haven, and I wasn't sure how to fix it. As I sat there in the quiet of the living room, I knew that something had to change. We couldn't continue down this path, allowing small conflicts to fester and grow, until they threatened to unravel everything we had built together. The turning point had come, and I had to decide how to move forward, whether to let these differences pull us apart or to find a way to bring us back into harmony. The decision weighed heavily on me, and as I looked around the room, I realized that the answer lay not in the objects that surrounded me, but in the connection I shared with Leslie. Aesthetics were important, but they could never replace the need for understanding, compromise, and mutual respect. Our relationship was about more than just creating a beautiful space. It was about creating a life together, one that honored both of our values and desires. With this realization, I knew that I had to approach our relationship with the same care and consideration that I had always given to my aesthetic pursuits. It was time to step back from the pursuit of perfection and focus on what truly mattered, finding a way to bridge the gap between us, to create a balance that reflected both our needs and desires. The living room, with its warm, inviting glow, no longer felt like a source of conflict. Instead, it became a symbol of the turning point I had reached, a reminder that beauty and harmony were not just about the physical environment, but about the relationships we nurtured within it. The choice was mine to make, whether to let our differences drive us apart or to use them as an opportunity to grow closer. As I sat there, the quiet of the apartment enveloping me, I felt a renewed sense of determination. The future of our relationship hung in the balance, and I knew that the path we took from here would determine whether we found a happy ending or faced a sad one. It was a turning point, one that required me to let go of my need for control and embrace the uncertainty that lay ahead. With this new perspective, I felt a glimmer of hope. The conflicts we faced were real, but so was the love that had brought us together. If I could learn to appreciate the beauty in our differences, to see them not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth, then perhaps we could find our way back to the harmony we both desired. The apartment, now bathed in the soft light of evening, felt like a place of possibility once again. The turning point had come, and the choice was clear: to move forward with an open heart, to find a way to create a balance that honored both our needs, and to build a future that was as beautiful as the space we shared.